Hello everybody, my name is Alan from Sauber-Lab and today will be another video about TrueNAS scale. In this video we're gonna use revision 24.10 and we're gonna focus specifically in the section of data protection. This section is really important because you want to keep your data safe, and if you don't keep it safe, what's the point to keep your data in the first place? So in this video we're gonna show a little bit more about TrueCloud backup, scrambly task, cloud sync, periodic snapshots, rsyncs, replications, and periodic smart, and how you can use those tools to make sure that your data is there, it's reliable, and if something happens you can recover it. So if you like this idea and want to learn a little bit more about it, we're gonna show in this video, but first of all, don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribe for the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and let's understand a little bit more about it. As I told, data protection is really important for your system, principally if you want to keep your data safe and reliable. So in this way, we're gonna go specifically for the section for data protection. Before we do it, let's explain a little bit more about my system. If you guys come here my screen, here it's my system, what I'm running, the TrueNAS revision 24.10, and here it's a physical computer. I don't want to anymore choose a virtual machine because most of the others application not work as expected, so it's better to make it as a physical computer. So in this way, I have my CPU temperature. Before, if you remember, they didn't show it because you don't have a properly temperature available in a virtual machine. Here I have 4 cores and I'm using quite old CPU, it's i5-3570K. Here will be my utilization, how much RAM memory that I have. In this case, if you look, I have 16 GB of RAM memory. If you remember, you need to have a minimum 80 GB of RAM memory plus 1 GB for each terabyte. So potentially I could have around 8 terabytes of data. In this case, I have a really small storage. Why? Because it's only for trial, and if I come here, I have my storage not the way that should be. So if I come here, I have only one storage, what is great for only one hard drive. It means that if this hard drive fails, my data is lost. It's not ideal, but for me, it's only for trials, it's worked well. Also, I don't have any kind of cache, any kind of spares, anything else, so there will be only the speed of one single hard drive working. Here I only use 5.71, so basically it's empty hard drive. Here will be my ZFS, what is stated as OK, and the health of disk is stated as OK as well. So what we need to understand, we need now to come in specific in this section called data protection. In data protection you have a lot of different options, and if you don't know what you're looking for, you'll be a little bit confused. But don't worry, we're going to explain. So first, if you look, scrubbing, periodic snapshot and periodic smart, it's all local. It's to make sure that your hard drive it's okay, your data it's okay, and if you delete something or something happen, it's okay as well. So let's go first in the scrubbing. Here will be check the integrity of your data. So basically what they're gonna do, in this case they are set for Sunday at midnight, they start to run, and that they will read all the data and check if anything is corrupt or not. This way you make sure that if you copy data that was not properly copied, there will be time to fix it or have time for you to recover this data. This will avoid, let's say, to have half pictures and other things. This scabbling will take a long time. Depending how much space that you have, can take days to finish. So it's not worth it to run every day because basically they only take time. I believe that I have, my Synology, it's around 8 terabytes of data used and take 2 days to finish these checks. I do of course once a week, but they take around 2 days to make sure that all the data is safe. So have this one in mind, depending how much data and how much space that you use. But this one will come as a standard, don't delete, don't need to set up every day, only leave this one. One thing that's interesting for you to have in mind is this threshold. This means that if they take more than 35 days to check it, they will highlight it for you, but normally they shouldn't take this long. Next option of data protection that we're gonna show will be the smart. The smart basically check the life of your hard drive to make sure that your hard drive is working well, it's not have any bad blocks and anything. So in this way, if you come here to add, you can select one hard drive specific or all. I suggest you should do in all the hard drives, and you can select the type of the smart. Unless you have a reason to run offline or convenience, normally I run a short. If the hard drive is going to close for 2 or 3 years of run, I'll put a little bit longer, but for me, short always fit for my needs. I can make the description and I can run every day, once a day, once a week, once a month, and make a specific schedule. In my case, once a week is totally fine, so I'll put save. Here, if I open, I can see all the different configurations and if I have any problem for it. Basically, this one will check your data and this one will check your hard drive. But nothing guaranteed that if your data is corrupt or something happens, someone deletes some data, you're gonna be able to recover it. This reason that comes this periodic snapshot. This periodic snapshot, basically they will get a picture for this stage of your data, and if you select every day, every week and continue on, in that specific time they will get a picture and will save all the data aside to guarantee that if something move or change, you still have a copy for it in a side. Remember, this one will use the space of your data or your hard drives. Don't expect that you make a lot of snapshots and that's it. You're not gonna have penalized. But in the same time, this one guarantees that if your data starts to be corrupt, you have a virus or anything, it's easy to recover, easy to access, and you can have everything local. If you come here in add snapshot, you can select a periodic snapshot. So I can select what data set that you want. Remember, if I put home, will be the top of the tree and everything's down, they will do a backup. If you have a lot of apps and those apps have a database, they will update the database and will have a lot of different copies of snapshots, and these will use more space. Unless you need this information, you don't need to do this specific backup. In my case, normally I will only backup my data. If I want to exclude some specific information, I can exclude here. I can define how long this snapshot will be available. In my case, normally leave 1 week and I leave as a daily. Why 1 week? If some data is corrupt or I lose something, in a week I can recover it. If it's more than 1 week, normally I will rely in my cloud backup and continue on. Now I will leave those information, put save. If I want to run a manual backup, I can always come here in snapshots, add a snapshot, and I put a manual snapshot and run it. So in this way I have a manual snapshots that has been created. I can clone this data, or I can leave this pending that will be automatically once a week. I have everything local, but nothing guaranteed that if my computer, my server start a fire and all the hard drives melt, my data is safe. This reason that's really important for you to have those 3 options. This one replication we're gonna leave aside, but those 3 options will be True Cloud Backup Task, will be the Cloud Sync and rsync. Cloud Sync, if I come here to add, I can do a backup for my data. I can select which one that I want, let's say data set. I can select how often they will do, what kind of scripts that I want, type of transfer, and my password and user for the task. But have a problem, you cannot use this TrueNAS backup any kind of a cloud system. If I come here in credential and add it, the only credential that they will let me to add in this stage will be this company's called Storage. And here you don't have other options. They say that's open source cloud, that will be a crypto blockchain, decentralized data, but it's only this option that I have. If I wanted to add different options, let's say that I want to use Google Drive, all other things, I needed to use this Cloud Sync task. How I add my different credentials? Exactly in the credentials. So I'll come here, credentials, backup credentials, and here I already create for Google Drive, but I can come here and put add, and I have different options. I can use Amazon, I can use Box, I can use Dropbox, Google Drive, I can use HTTP, I can use SFTP, I can use WebDev, and that's all these different options that I have. Basically, if I wanted to use anything outside cloud, I can use those. more focus for a properly cloud system instead of another computer. But I can create any kind of credential that I want. I can come here in data protection, add a cloud sync. I select which credential that I want, and then will be different options of data transfer. I can have a pull option or a push option. I can have all copy data for one side to another. I can sync, so we'll have two copies exactly the same, or I can move. In my case, normally I use sync because I want to have a same copy in both places. If my computer burn, I still have a copy of my data in the other place, let's say Google Drive. Here I can select my directory, and here will be the folder in my cloud, and here the name and how often they will do. I can select normally once a week. I don't need to do every day unless I have a reason to do it. Once a week it's fine, and then I can save it and they will start to make a backup once a week. Okay, so far those two it's cloud, but if I have another computer and want to copy this data from one computer to another, how I do? I will use these rsync options. Basically the other computer will create rsync system, and that I will connect the data from one computer to another. And you're gonna ask, okay Alan, rsync will use the network, but if I want to use this computer in another place, how I do? Use a VPN. You can use the Tailscale to connect from one computer to another, what I'm currently doing. So I have my server in my parents' house and I have another server here, what they will use the VPN to connect both computers, that they will transmit all the data using rsync for this computer to the other one. So in this way my data is safe here. If my house start fire and I lose my server, I still have another server in my parents' house. So in this way you use the rsync task. Remember, you need to configure it. One of my other videos I show how you can configure the OpenMedia of our rsync and how you can connect it. Have a look in this. I will not go so in depth for this video, otherwise it will take too long. And in the end you have replication. This replication basically will make a copy for your server for here to another one. Normally they work better between TrueNAS and TrueNAS, and if the case that this main server stops to work, the other replication can kick out and start to run, and you don't feel so much the loss of data when you recover this first computer. I never use it unless you need to have a high availability system that you cannot stop for any minute. You're not gonna use this replication so often because it's kind of backup, but in the same time it's a backup in the case that your main system stops to work. So it's a more specific case application. Have this one in mind. We show all those different options. All those three will be for protect your system if your system fail. These ones will be protect your data inside the system for make sure that if anything happen locally, they will be safe. So this scrubbing, periodic snapshot and smart, it's must have, and those it's for you protect your data. Normally you should follow the rule 3-2-1, so 3 copies, at least 2 local and 1 externally. In my case I have 2 computers in my house, and that I have another one in my parents' house, so I cover these 3-2-1. So in this way we arrive in the end of the video. I hope that you guys like this video. In the next videos we go a little bit more for virtualization, apps, credentials, and continue on. So if you guys like this video and think that was interesting, please don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribe for the channel if you're not subscribed yet, and see you next time. Bye.